Hi, it's Tony from Yak Outlaws. Right now we're going to rig up an anchor trolley on the Kaku Kayak Wahoo. And basically what we're going to do, I've already pre-drilled one of the holes for the well nuts. And basically this is going to hold in our hark and pulley. So what I'm going to do basically, I've already got the well nut. So I'm going to insert it into the hole we just drilled. And all I'm doing right now is just kind of getting everything preset. I'm not going to get in a hurry and get everything ready. So basically with a well nut, I'm just going to screw this in just a little bit so I can hold the pulley in place. I'm going to take a smaller diameter drill bit and drill a pilot so I can mark where I need to set the pulley for the anchor trolley. Now that I've got it marked, I can take everything out. And you always want to add a little bit, if you're drilling holes into a kayak, you always want to add a little bit of silicone just to ensure you don't have any kind of opportunity for any extra water to get inside the hull of the kayak. Once you've got your well nuts in, and up a little bit of the extra excess, basically all you do is screw it in. Now this screw is basically going to pull the washer closed, and it's going to make a seal for the pulley. Now you don't want to tighten this down too ridiculous because you don't want to pull it through and lose your seal, but just give it a good tight snug pull on it. Now with that one secure, we can basically come in. I've already pre-drilled the holes for the well nuts for the front of the anchor trolley. All we're going to do is add a little bit of silicone around the edges. You don't really have to do this, it's just a little extra peace of mind that you've got it sealed, the hole sealed pretty good. Again, you don't want any kayak. Try to keep as much water out of the kayak as possible, obviously. Alright, first part of the installation is done. We've got our pulleys in, so we're ready to go to move on to the next step. Alright, now we've got our pulleys on, the next step is going to be to put the anchor trolley rope on there. So basically all I'm going to do is run the rope through. This is probably the most tedious part of putting an anchor trolley on. And that's crimping it. I'm going around the sawhorses. Most important piece, don't forget to put on your shrink wrap, your heat shrink before you get it done. I've done that many times and it's a pain in the butt because you have to undo everything. Basically I'm going to figure out where I want to set it up at. And the Yak Gear anchor trolley kits comes with everything you need. Has a little piece of wire to crimp it down. This is probably the most tedious part of putting an anchor trolley on. That one went pretty easy. Once you've got it crimped down, it's locked in. Pull your heat shrink up. Take your heat gun, heat it down. It's crimped on, so it's locked in place. It's not going anywhere. Slide your heat shrink up. Take your heat gun, blow dryer, whatever you have. A lighter will work to a certain degree. Shrink it down and we'll repeat the process on the other side. Now the first time you put this together, this itself is a little tedious in itself, but I always, when I put my anchor trolleys on, I always want to make the rope as tight as possible. Fairly snug, as tight as the boat as possible. This rope over time, using the anchor trolley out on the water, is going to stretch. So you'll have a lot more play in it. It's a little bit of a pain initially, but then once you've got it set up, then you're pretty much good to go. And this part's really about the most aggravating part of it all together. And there you go. Basically just tag off, you cut off the tag end. We'll put the heat shrink over it again and we'll be good to go. And we're done with part 2 of it. Alright, here's the last and pretty much final step of putting on an anchor trolley. We're going to use the pad eyes, and that's basically going to keep a guide to kind of keep our lines down. Note, always take the piece that you don't want pleated and put it up out of the way, because you will tag it and leave it on there. You'll pad eye basically the wrong rope. Basically what I'm going to do is just set these up. And I'll take a small Sharpie so I can mark my holes so I can pre-drill them. Basically, Sharpie's going to tell me where I'm going to need to screw it in. Now for the rivets we're going to use a 3/8 inch drill bit. And basically just drill the holes. Again, it's always a good idea. Add a little extra silicone. Block out any kind of seepage whatsoever of anything getting into the side of the kayak. Take your rivet gun, pretty simple, squeeze the handles, it'll pull that black piece up and give you lock basically the pad eye into place. You pretty much have an anchor trolley for your kayak.